Hey guys, and welcome to my stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Wow, I haven't said those words in so long. I want you guys to know that I missed you more than you missed me, and I'm happy I'm back here for you with another video just to give you my perspective on everything that's been going on.
A one-time fourth stimulus check would be awesome. Seriously, don't get me wrong. I would absolutely take that in a second if they actually approved it. However, what it comes down to is actually monthly recurring payments is the actual solution for a lot of people. Now, hear me out for just a second because I think this is going to make a lot more sense. Let's be real. What do we all need right now? A big payment coming forward, or would it be actually more advantageous and beneficial to get ongoing payments that are maybe a little bit smaller going forward for a longer period of time? Again, very similar to the child tax credit payments that went out last year. Now again, I know that a lot of you here in the community don't receive the child tax credit payments, but I'm simply using that as an example because I think a lot of us can agree we know how that system works, as in sending out anywhere between $250 and $300 every single month, ongoing for a long period of time. Now, let's be real. This is also actually something very interesting as well that I asked a few of you in some conversations yesterday down in the comments section. I was saying, how much do you really need right now? Let's just be real. Like, do you need $1,000 a month? Do you need $500? Do you need $200? Do you need $2,000? What is it that you actually need? I was shocked by the responses that I was getting. Here's the responses that I was getting. The vast majority of you that I was asking, by the way, it was a pretty small handful of people I was asking, so it wasn't like thousands of people. It was just a few people that I was going back and forth with in the comments section yesterday. And the vast majority of people said, I only need a couple hundred. All I need is 200. All I need is an extra 300. Now, again, we have to remember as well, everybody lives in different locations around the country, right? Different states, different cities. So the cost of living in different states and areas is going to be very different. Somebody living in New York is going to have way higher living expenses than maybe somebody living in a rural area. Again, you know what I mean? So, but the deal is, one person might need 300, one person might need 150, one person might need 700. But my point is, when I asked people yesterday, it really didn't come down to that much. The vast majority of people said anywhere between $200 and $400 a month is really all that they actually need right now going forward on a monthly basis. Not just a one-time payment, but rather ongoing. Now, here's the thing. If it were to come down to a one-time payment, realistically, it'd probably need to be about $2,000. And honestly, that probably wouldn't even last very long for a lot of people, especially because I know I've seen it in the reports. We've seen it with all the research that we've been doing and talking about in the last couple of videos here. A lot of people have been floating balances on credit cards, taking out personal loans, lines of credit, things like this, borrowing from friends and family. Therefore, if it happened to be a one-time payment, $2,000 would probably be what it would need to be, realistically, to kind of get people back on the map, kind of get people back in the game right now going forward. But I think the actual solution, based on the conversations I was having, and again, this is all going to wrap up here in just a second, and I want to come back and kind of lay out a question for you. But the vast majority of what I was seeing yesterday, and honestly, this was a little bit eye-opening. A lot of people were saying, hey, a one-time payment would be great, but realistically, what I need right now is an ongoing payment of $200, $300, $400 every single month for the next year or something like that. So I was actually a little bit surprised to see this because, I think unfortunately there's a lot of people out there who look at us and be like, oh, they just want a one-time payment. And it's like, well, no, actually, we're not looking for like a big one-time payment. We're simply looking for a little bit of relief on an ongoing basis is really what it comes down to. And this was all proven to me yesterday when I was having those conversations. So I was actually very surprised by this because I think a lot of us might look at the situation and think, oh, I need $2,000 a month every month for the next 5 years, right? Well, don't get me wrong. That'd be awesome, right? But let's be real with ourselves for a minute. That's not going to happen, right? Let's just be honest. It's just not going to happen. However, we do know that $250 and $300 a month is a real thing. In fact, that happened every single month. July through December of last year, that happened every single month for between 36 and 38 million households, individuals, and families as a result of the child tax credit. So my point is, it is a real thing. They can do it by all means. In fact, the president was just out reminding everybody that there's nearly $200 billion on the table right now that still needs to be claimed. So the president wants people to grab this money. So my point is, I want to reach out to you. I'm curious, what really what really do all of you need right now? Like, what is it that everybody needs? And don't get me wrong, I know that the lump sum payment is really what everybody needs, but let's think about this a little bit further here. Would you rather take, you could have the option, let's just throw this out there in theory, right? So we have a hypothetical question here, just because I'm curious to know. If you had the option, on one hand, you could grab a one-time $2,000 check, or on the other hand, you could grab a $250 payment every single month for the next 12 months. Which one would you take, right? The cash up front, or would you take a smaller payment every month going forward for the next 12 months? I'm just kind of curious, so please let me know down below. Again, I'm not here to put words in your mouth. I'm not here to answer for you. I'm just kind of curious because I think I have a feeling how this is going to turn out. Like I said, based on the conversations I had yesterday, this might be a little bit more interesting. Now, why am I wondering this and why am I actually asking these questions? Simply because I think this might help us pivot and actually transition into a little bit more better strategy as far as how we can approach Congress, the administration, and how we can actually help better sell some of our ideas as far as getting payments to the people. Now, here's the thing. We've also talked over the last, a few weeks ago, we started talking about the adult tax credit once again. Remember, this is something that was tossed around a little bit about, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. It was thrown around, and then it kind of disappeared for quite a while, many, many months. Well, then about 3 weeks ago or so, they started bringing it up and talking about it a little bit once again. Now, what would adult tax credit payments be? Again, it sounds like there may be an option, if they happen to do this, by the way, to actually send these out rather than a lump sum payment on a tax return. Rather than doing that, making people file a tax return and making them claim the lump sum payment, there may actually be the option of sending it out as an advanced payment, just like, once again, using it as an example, the child tax credit payments. Again, a couple $100 every month going forward. So this would be like a perfect example of a guaranteed basic income program, right? We've talked about those many times here on the channel as well. So I think this was a little bit eye-opening for me yesterday throughout these conversations, and I'm really excited to read through your comments on this video, because I want to see, and again, like I said, the reason I'm asking for this, not because I want to be like, oh, I just want to know what you want. I want to know this information because it's going to give us a better idea and strategy as far as how can we actually appeal to Congress? How can we sell these ideas to Congress? How can we rewrite our letters? How can we reach out to Congress? What can we do to start lobbying Congress for this idea, right? Hey guys, you've already approved the child tax credit payments. What's the difference if you just approve an adult tax credit payment? The exact same thing, but focus it on the low income and the fixed income adults who are also struggling right now, just like the kids and the family, the parents and family members of kids, right? I feel like it's a pretty easy sell. I mean, the deal is they're already doing it, so it should be a pretty easy sell. Again, nothing is all that easy with Congress. Well, my point is, it certainly might be easier than trying to get them to approve another stimulus check. Just being honest right now, right? So again, just trying to maybe think through this and talk through this with you a little bit further, because I think a lot of people here, realistically, the one-time payments would be really great, but honestly, what I think it really comes down to, based on what I've been seeing here, is just ongoing payments of a couple $100. Realistically, it seems like that's what most people need right now, is just a few $100 to get by, to get over this huge mountain of inflation right now, these massive prices, and ultimately, if we run the math on it, let's be real, at the end of the day, after we calculate out for a year's time, or even 6 months' time, $250 a month or even $300 a month is ultimately going to get us even more or equal to that of a one-time check anyway, right? At about a 6-month period, let's just say it was $300 a month for 6 months. That'd be $1,800. I mean, it'd pretty much be a wash at 6 months, right? Or if they go out to 12 months, it'd be way more getting the little payments going forward, right? Kind of get my drift? So yeah, anyway, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say on this. I think it's going to be a little bit eye-opening, realistically. And actually, I asked this question, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago or so. I asked a very similar question to this when we were talking about maybe stimulus check number 2 at the time. And I remember that back then, many of you were reaching out just saying, hey, all I need right now is just $200. Just seriously, give me $200 a month. That's all I really need. By the way, I am not alluding to that $200 per month for Social Security. We can talk about that in a separate video, but honestly, I don't think that one's coming back. But This is a completely separate question in the form of how much would you really need right now? What would it take to get you by every month ongoing to get over this massive hurdle of all this inflation and the latest reading that we got out yesterday? So anyway, I'm super curious to hear your feedback down below. Only if you're comfortable doing so again. Only if you are comfortable answering the questions. That's totally fine too. If not, that's totally fine. I don't mind at all.
Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really missed you. Hopefully I'll see you here again very, very soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.